A point of personal privilege as a lifelong New Yorker. Eric Adams is a crook and will always be a crook. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graph's Grievances starts right now. In a shocking but hardly surprising twist, President Donald Trump's Justice Department ordering federal prosecutors to drop all of the corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. The order coming after months of sycophantic lobbying by Adams, a Democrat, to Trump and other Republicans in Trump's orbit, including defending Trump during his 2024 campaign, dining with Trump in Florida following his election win, and attending Trump's inauguration in D.C. while championing his mass deportation plans. Adams' rather quick conversion from a moderate Democrat to a full-throated Trump supporter, beginning shortly after he became the first sitting mayor in modern New York City history to be indicted in September of 2024. Federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York charging Adams with conspiracy, wire fraud, soliciting illegal foreign campaign contributions, and bribery. At the heart of the now dropped case was the accusation that Adams obtained more than $100,000 in gifts from the country of Turkey in exchange for pressuring the New York City Fire Department to approve a new 36-story Turkish consulate in Manhattan for occupancy despite real safety concerns. Prosecutors also alleging that Adams fraudulently obtained millions of dollars in public matching campaign funds by soliciting illegal donations from Turkish businessmen. Adams pleading not guilty to all the charges, pledging to remain in office, and, this is where things get interesting, immediately began to insinuate that the only reason he was being prosecuted was because he criticized President Joe Biden's handling of the migrant crisis at the southern border. Yes, really, Adams concocted out of thin air the patently false allegation that President Biden instructed his Justice Department to target him because Biden didn't like Adams criticizing him. This outrageous aspersion, along with Adams' new fawning over Trump, ingratiating him to the now president. Which is why it was hardly surprising that on Monday, not even a month into the new Trump administration, Trump's Justice Department ordered prosecutors to drop all the criminal charges against Adams. In attempting to justify their remarkable incursion into a continuing criminal case, the Trump DOJ said that the mayor's indictment limited Adams' ability to cooperate in President Trump's immigration crackdown. Furthermore, Trump's DOJ said it made its decision without assessing the strength of the evidence against Adams. And if all of that sounds outrageous to you, it should. Federal prosecutors are supposed to be independent and not take orders from the President of the United States. This is not how our independent justice system is supposed to work. This is, in fact, how a justice system works in a dictatorship. Friends, allies of the regime can and do get away with murder, while the opposition gets harassed, brought up on fabricated charges, and thrown in prison. But back to Mr. Adams. The charges against him are being dismissed without prejudice, meaning that the case against Adams could be revived at any time. And that is very noteworthy because it means that if Adams ever turns on Donald Trump or does something Trump doesn't like, the criminal charges against Adams will be filed again. In essence, Adams now has a new anvil looming over his head that could crush him at any moment if Trump chooses. And all of this comes as Adams seeks re-election as mayor of the largest city in the United States, the city I proudly call home. Traditionally, a Democratic mayoral incumbent seeking a second term in New York City would not face a serious primary challenge and would be heavily favored in the general election. But ever since Adams was brought up on criminal charges, a slew of primary challengers have emerged. Currently, there are at least 7 other New Yorkers running in the Democratic mayoral and primary, to be held on January 24th, including the possibility that disgraced former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo could enter the race. But based on what I know about New Yorkers, the decision by Trump's DOJ to drop charges against Adams will likely do little to boost his anemic poll numbers. According to the New York Times, Adams' approval currently stands at just 10%, which is likely around where Trump is polling in the Democratic stronghold. As for who might win the Democratic mayoral primary, it's hard to say. All of the announced candidates, other than Adams, are little-known figures. But with Adams now tied even more closely to Trump, I wouldn't be surprised if another big-name Democrat jumps into the race. And all of this is why I think it is far more likely Adams ends up joining the Trump administration than getting reelected mayor of New York City. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.